For 7th grade, so for the first chapter, I would have them read with like a partner or in a small group. Like I would ask them questions like, what did you learn that you didn't know before the lesson started? And like just some more facts about it. They would do a math exercise on these. The next day I would go over the vocab, and I would play Jeopardy. I would break them into small groups, like 4, 5, 6 people in a group, and then I would ask the question, and they would individually write down on a whiteboard or a piece of paper their own answer, and then I'd either go around and check their answers and mark who got the answer correct, or they would like flash it up. And then the next section, they would converse with their group members and see like which answer they agreed on. And then I would go, okay, group 1, if they got the question right, they would get a point. And then for the second question, I go to the group that won would get an extra point or get a free question or answer on their test, and the individual that won, or the individuals that got most of the questions right, they would get also a free answer on the quiz or test. Then my next lesson would go over cause and effect. That would be the concept and skill that I want them to go over. So this is still like in my book, chapter 8, and I would have them read through the book and find some causes and effects. This is the first worksheet I would have them work on. They would find one cause and one effect, and then I'd want them to narrow in and like specify like one cause and these are the effects that came from it. The next day we would be working on talking about like the plants and agriculture in Latin America, and they for my focusing activity I would have them be like, okay, pretend that you are a Latin American farmer, and what are some things that you would have to think of when you're planting or that you want to grow. And these were some of the features or things that I want them to come up with. And they would be thinking of these on their own, and I would be writing these on the board, and if they weren't able to come up with these, I would obviously lead them through that in discussion. And then I would talk about the environment or the climate of Latin America. I'd talk about the 3 different zones. And their activity would then, there would be a Latin American farmer, and they would come up with a business plan on what they would grow, where they would grow, like who they would sell to, and this is a rubric for it. And then they would also have a map, which I'd use the map that I used before, so it looks like this. Oops, sorry. And then this is also the rubric for the map. My next lesson, and it would talk about the civilizations of Latin America, the ancient civilizations, and that would be with the Mayan culture, the Incas, and the Aztecs. And I had a PowerPoint to go along with it, and it would be used as the focusing activity. So this would be playing while students walk into the classroom, and I could say like, I know probably all of you have seen like the pyramids or pictures of pyramids, but did you know that like other civilizations like built great architecture like the Mayans and the Incans and the Aztecs? And then I would have them have a Venn diagram of the different Aztecs or like things that they share in common. And then this would go into chapter 9 now, and it talks about the culture of Latin America and the people. And so I introduced some of like the important people and food and music and just the overall culture of the chapter in Latin America. And I would use the smartboard. After they had read the chapter, I'd use the smartboard to talk about the vocab. And this was on my smartboard presentation, but I'd like have the word, and then I have asked them to give me the definition without looking at their notes or the book, and then like underneath the word, it would be the definition. And I have the vocabulary words that I would ask them, and also some questions. Then I move on to my next activity, and this would go over more people that were important in the Latin American culture. And they would write a miniature autobiography, so they would have to do research on like the person that they chose, which I give some choices for them, and they would have to like write their reaction or reflection to like an event that occurred in their life, and they would have time to share if they chose to. My next lesson, it would kind of be the overall for both chapter 8 and 9, and it talks about the Brazil carnival, and I have a video for the attention getter, and I would have them get into groups of 4 or 5, and they would have to create a big poster board and explain to people like, come to the Brazil carnival because of this, and they would have to have like things that the carnival offers, like the parade route, where you can get food, what kind of music or bands would be playing, activities for kids and other attractions, and this would all go on their bulletin board or their poster board, and I would like encourage like the use of like color and sequins and feathers and stuff that's written on my materials, because if you've ever seen pictures of the Brazil carnival, it's like just full of, it's obnoxious basically. And this would incorporate like the physical geography of the lesson and also the culture. And then finally I have a test, and like the day of the test we'd review and go over like vocabulary words or questions, just time for students to clarify, and this is the test. There is, hold on, I have it all, I think 15 multiple choice, 8 matching, 2 short answer, and 11 fill in the blank, and it was an odd number, so I just threw in 1 extra credit point for like putting your name on it.
That would be important.
Yeah.
Good job.